Hi everyone, it's Justin here, Voices for Voices. Thank you so much for joining us, whether you're watching or listening, whether you're here in the United States or abroad. We can't thank you enough for your love and support you've shown us over the years. And we are over 470 episodes into the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. And that's not because of me, that's because of you. You're demanding the content. You are liking that we are transparent, that we talk about tough and hard subjects as well as lighthearted subjects. So if you could give us a big thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, share, maybe even reach out to 25, 50, 100, 500 of your contacts in your phone and let them know about Voices for Voices. We're built on the the mental health, mental illness, trauma recovery pillars or and foundation really is is what is behind all of our shows. So whether I say it and talk about it specifically on every show, that may or may not be the case. But as a person that founded Voices for Voices and who is living and has lived for the last 7, 8 years uh, with mental illnesses, uh, that in and of itself really brings it home for those particular areas that we're talking about. Uh, we're just it's just amazing. You're amazing. Every single one of you who has ever watched, listened to 1 second, nanosecond, spend any time watching, listening to Voices for Voices. It's humbling. And again, I, I don't know. I can't really put it really into any other words other than thank you so much. And we're continuing onward. I'm gonna touch on life in this particular episode, and we we talked about life specifically in an earlier episode, and probably a couple we've touched on from time to time. Today, I want to share just a little bit. When someone tells you or me, we're being lazy, that we're being that we don't want to do something, that uh, get over it, take a deep breath, go for a walk, whatever it may be. Um, Today is one of these days where our previous day was in the 70s. And so, right, it's a nice day, right? When it's a little bit warmer, the sun's out, uh, and so that's one day. Then the next day, like today, and overnight, and then today waking up, it's a lot different. Temperatures, about 20 degrees cooler. It's a little bit dreary, meaning overcast, it's raining on and off, thunderstorms popping up here and there. And as somebody who has mental illnesses, we talk about, seasonal affective disorder where, the days, uh, the winter solstice and all those things. Those days where there's less light outside, uh, it makes a difference. Uh, like I said, we talk about seasonal affective disorder, and I have that along with all the other uh, compliments. I get complimentary challenges as well, and so that's always hard for me to make it through those days, just to make it through those days. And I'm just being upfront. Some people may say again that we're lazy, whatever. They can say what they like because they have First Amendment right, just like I do. Uh, and so today being how it is, being just kind of just like an overcast day with rain, pop-up thunderstorms, etc. And so I noticed myself, it took a little bit longer to wake up today. Uh, so that's one thing. And a lot of you are gonna laugh. I'm laughing. I wasn't laughing at the time, what I'm about to say, because again, I was trying to get every last second of sleep that I could. Uh, and so our dog climbs up, right? So I'm sleeping, and my body somehow, some way can sense, the rain, the sunshine's not out, and so I'm not quite ready to wake up and start the day. Well, a dog, uh, she jumps up all over, her leg at my face, my arm, my feet, and uh, just so much energy. She just has so much energy, and uh, until I got up because I, I was having our dog just. I mean, it was just happening. It was like super speed or whatever. It was going on so fast. Like I would like turn one way and then she lick and jump on me, and then I turn the other way and then she'd do that. So that part I can laugh at now. Um, but it wasn't funny at the time because I was trying to again get some extra seconds of rest. And so it kind of feels like one of these seasonal affective disorder days where I think just in general, humans, I think, again, I'm not a doctor and I'm not trying to say that this has been, the regulatory commissions have approved what I'm saying. I'm just saying as a human being who's gone through, 44 years here on Earth. That when it's sunny out, our moods are a little bit better, or have a little bit more energy. And as somebody with major depression and all the mental challenges and such that I'm going through, and some of you may or may not be going through, maybe somebody you know is going through, uh, you may notice an uptick in activity on those particular days. And that's why our body just likes sunshine. And it's easy for some to understand, and it's tougher, like, oh, you were being lazy at this other time, and now all of a sudden you're doing this. Well, whatever that is. Doesn't really matter what the thing is. Uh, and so I just wanted to share that because, like those of us with depression and probably even without depression, uh, you have a lot of people that move to like warmer climates, like the older they retire, sometimes they move to, more southern areas, like Florida and such. And I think a lot of it has to do with the sunshine that the body just needs to have that sunshine that if you live in a cool, a cooler or a mild climate, uh, it could be too much, in the later years of life. Um, I mean, I have no idea what what what's gonna happen the next minute, let alone in 20 years. I just know that my body and others, I would think all of us would say, oh yeah, there's a sunny day and temperatures are moderate, maybe in the 70s and or so. There can be extremes when it's, 90 degrees, 100 degrees, that sometimes 80 degrees, and then you have humidity and all that, where it can be dangerous if you're out too long uh, in those temperatures, being dehydrated and such. Uh, but yeah, sharing this today on this particular show is just the show, the really just the humanity, the human of myself, of me, and what a day, early part of a day can be, from one day to the next. Uh, like I said, so it's sunnier, warmer, body seems to have a little more pep in our step. While when it's not sunny, it's 70 degrees or whatever the temperature is that's comfortable for you, uh, can make a difference. And so that can spill over into work, right? So if we have projects we're working on and the day's gloomy out. It's not that we can't work. It's just it might just take us a little bit of a minute uh to get going. Um I'll give you another example. So move I moved our trash cans to one side uh of the garage, outside of the garage. Uh, and so I put them behind my car because that was just uh having our other car I that was going to be leaving before me today. So I had moved, the cans are plastic and that. So we were in the car, you know, foot on the brake, hit reverse, and just going slow. Like I don't even think I was pressing the gas pedal, and there was just a little bump on the car, and I was like, oh, forgot to move the trash cans over before we left today. So I got out, I moved him over. There's no damage at all on the car. I wasn't going fast, and the material uh, and the elements that go into to the cans wasn't enough to yeah have it show on my car that I hit the trash cans. So that something very minor like that, and I was like, oh, I forgot about that. And so it took me, that second or two to be like, okay, uh, like I have to be, I have to be as careful as I always am. I can't not. And that was just a reminder that that I needed to, you know, there's like 50 million things you need to do in the morning, that feels like. And I just didn't see it at the time. And as I'm talking about this, I'm thinking about Full House, the TV show, when I was growing up. I forget who was driving. They were obviously not of age. I think it was Stephanie Tanner. I think that's the show character. Uh, and I think she drove the car through the house, the side of the house, and of course, in that instance, like, make sure everybody's safe and okay. Nobody got hurt, and then you go, oh wow, I have half I have half of a house that has a big hole in it because there's a car in it, even when you back the car out. Anyways, they're they're similar in them making we made a mistake, but I didn't drive through our house and have it. And so I think about that. And our family likes to watch, Full House and then the Fuller House. And that's why that particular uh that particular part of that show has come to mind as I share this morning. And so it could be, a little sluggish, doesn't mean anything negative. Doesn't mean we're not worthy. That it doesn't mean any of those things. It just means we're just feeling a little bit sluggish. When the weather's better, it seemed the little things, they stay little. Sometimes when the weather changes, little things like making sure that the trash can was not right behind my car, uh, become a little easier when the weather's nicer. Like, oh yeah, let me double check. And I usually always double check. And so today, for whatever reason, I think we were running a little bit behind, and so that might have been part of it. I may have perceived that we were running behind when we really weren't. When we're human beings, so we're creatures of habit, and and so that's how I am, and especially with the morning routine and that of okay, we're gonna be able to do this or that or get to this place early, and yes, we're gonna have to wait, but at least we'll be here, and we won't have to be and a long line of traffic wrapped around the building, those type of things. And so th with this particular episode, my my hope and wish is that you can, whether you're watching or listening, you can tell that I'm a real human being. I'm no superhero. I'm no, yeah, I'm just a regular person. And yes, we do talk about hard topics. We talk about easy topics. We talk about life, right? We talk about life because that's what we're living. We've made it another day, another morning, another afternoon, another evening, another summer, another spring, another winter. And so it's important when we're talking about these things is to actually talk about them and not brush them to the side. I don't like brushing things to the side when it, especially again, as we're, built on the foundation and the pillars of, mental health, trauma, recovery. Try to stay away from the judging because who am I to judge anybody? I'm not. So earlier in my life, that was a lot of what I did. A lot of judging, a lot of comparing. This person has this, so I need to get this too, or I need to get something above that. And they're gonna see, look at those types of things are what I'm talking about. Keeping up with whatever an individual, trying to be somebody that I'm not. And that was me for a lot of my life, up until 2017. I mean, it really is. It was a lot of my life. Yeah, I've had some awesome accomplishments, but again, I can't take them with me when I leave Earth. None of us can. I talk about this all the time. So I just have realized that life isn't all about me. For me, with Voices for Voices, it's about helping others, within that, you know, the framework that we mentioned earlier in our show. And that's something that, yeah, in earlier years, I wouldn't even think about it. It was all about me, all about what I wanted to do. As you get older, our bodies change. For me, I put on a lot of extra weight. And so, trying to manage different things. It's kind of like karma, right? It's like I say or think something earlier in my life or at an earlier point, and then it comes around. It's like, oh, okay. So yeah, you were fit and worked out and all this, and now you don't. And it shows, and you can tell. And in my head, I'm, I'm trying to process it. I'm trying to process because the way my mind works, I I take things to the extreme a little bit when it comes to working out. Give you an example. So when I was younger and I was working out 3, 4, 5, sometimes it would be 6, 7 days a week. Did I need to do that? No. Was I looking to be in uh, a contest, right? To see, the uh, bodybuilding contest? No. I was doing those things just for me and thinking like, oh yeah, look at me. Look how in shape and all that I am. I wasn't part of a professional sports team. None of that. I was just like I am now, a regular human being. But at that time, I took things overboard, right? So there's all these supplements, all these things you take to help give extra energy to do the different workouts and to lift more weight and all these things. And and now I and now I guess I'm a little bit fearful that if I get back into working out, like there's no middle ground. It's kind of like me when I was abusing alcohol and binge drinking. I didn't know I didn't know moderation. I guess words I'm trying to say. It was either I'm going and getting drunk and wasted and hammered, whatever term you want to use. I couldn't just physically, I could make that distinction. I, if somebody says, "Hey, let's go have a drink," I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about like 20 years ago or such. Let's go have a drink, or with a group of us, let's go. I couldn't just have one. Couldn't just have two drinks, alcohol beverages. So if children are watching, listening, probably a good time to pause this, um, just because what I'm talking about. And so I didn't know moderation with alcohol. So that's why when in my mind I would say, okay, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This was me in college. Those days, I w- I would just do my schoolwork because I knew if I had a drink on a Tuesday, I couldn't just stop at one. And so you have the fact that costs money, the toll it takes on your body, all these things. And so there was that extreme. And so I was being, and not being, I was going to the extreme with working out to make it parallel with what I was sharing about the binge drinking. It's like, oh, let's just do a light workout or let's just do this. I'm a little bit afraid that my mind's gonna get me to that point where I'm I'm just gonna be focusing so much time and energy on that. And I don't want to because of medications, different things with my mental challenges. I don't know if things interact with medications, and so there's just a lot to think about, right? We're talking about life. And so those are two instances, right? Going to the extreme of, oh, I'm just gonna go, do a short workout, or I'm just gonna do cardio, or I can't do that. My mind is healed a little bit, so I can say that, like I've have been here on the show. But it's been a long time since I've really addressed this. And so, yeah, I want to. I want to work out. I want to have some of this extra weight gone. And so I'm kind of at a little bit of a standstill of not with the alcohols. I mean, that's done. I, I'm not doing that. I'm talking about working out. So that's a decision I need to make. And it may sound like, oh, like Justice making this big deal about working out and it's not that hard. Just stop when, well, maybe for you it is. Maybe for you it is an easy thing to do to make the decision to stop. To like, if I do it, I'm gonna spend hundreds of dollars on supplements to help me work out. And so that's just a fact. Money, right? Do people have the money to do that? And that's the thing you have to grapple with when we're talking about, going to the vitamin store, whatever, whichever one you go to, or if you go online. It's like, all right, if I'm gonna work out, I'm getting serious about this. And so I guess that's just something I'm gonna have to start thinking about. Again, another life issue, another life topic that I shared with that. And I'm sharing this because I believe that I believe that I'm not the only one that's going through it. And there may be other things, right? Somebody may have that going to the extreme, but I don't know. Could be anything. Could be a substance, could be working out. I guess the big thing is I need to not judge myself. You know, we talk about like not judging others. How about not judging ourselves? That's a tough thing to do, to not judge ourselves. And so I think that's what I'm doing. I'm judging myself like, well, Justin, if you're gonna work out like 2 days a week or whatever it is, you know, that you really should really do 3 days a week, or you should really do 4 days a week. Then I start getting in this cycle, and I don't want to get into that cycle. Maybe I won't get into that cycle. Maybe I won't. I've pushed through the alcohol and substances. I've pushed through that, and I'd say I've done a good job because I don't really think about that anymore. And so working out is kind of that next thing. And I'm 44. I'm not 24. So there's certain things, certain amount of weight, certain limitations, supplements, I don't know, or maybe better for somebody who's not on the medication regimen that I'm on. And so there's all these things I got extra things that I have to manage and work through that, you know, if you don't have a some type of a medication regimen that you're on and you're younger, well, that's a lot different. And so we just have to think about it. Not just, again, we're going to close with this, not just not judging others, but not judging ourselves. We're in this thing called life. We do the best we can. And I think, given the opportunity, you would want to you would want to help somebody. Again, if the ways and means and all that was available, it can be something tiny. Doesn't have to be some huge thing. And so the way I'm judging myself and talk about, that's probably one of the reasons why I make the conscious effort to go to counseling and that. And I guess I've gone to the extreme now on that because I don't like missing appointments. I don't, I don't. I told myself in my mind in 2017 that if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it all the way. I can't half-ass it. I gotta do, I gotta do it the full which means like schedule appointments, go to appointments, participate in the appointments. And if it means also having some kind of medication regimen, then I have to do that too. Because I want to get better. There's some days that are great for me that are hard to understand for some people. Like he thought that was great. Well, everybody has their things. It makes them feel good. Like, oh wow, I was able to accomplish whatever whatever that thing is, or I was able to finish this project that I've been putting off. Just know that no matter what, they hear our voices for voices. We're sending our love and support to you. We're praying for you every day, whether you're a believer or not. We want you to have happy, healthy, prosperous life, whatever that looks like to you. And we want to thank you for joining us on this episode of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. Again, give us a big thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, share, reach out to 25, 50, 100, 1,000 contacts in your phone. Let them know about Voices for Voices and the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. We are also a 501(c)(3) nonprofit charity. So if you go to lovevoices.org, 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 that's LOVEVOICES .org. Or you can also donate on the Cash App or Venmo, Voices for Voices. Here in the United States, every donation is 100% tax deductible. So we are a charity, but we're doing things that we're doing big things. And by saying doing big things, we're doing big things by doing little things. Because little things, if not looked at and not addressed, they turn into big things. So let's celebrate all the voices in the world. Help us reach and help 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. And let's be a voice for ourselves and somebody in need. Take care. We love you. We support you. We'll see you on the next episode of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. Bye bye for now.